what is the board? You know, a whole lot of people just hear boardroom, board member. You know, Obey sang board member, yes. Board member. A lot of people don't know what is the board. Yeah. And the board is the key.
Can you call it the engine room?
The engine room of business success. You know, it's a school of experienced people that advises businesses, you know, on which direction to go, what to do, what not to do, you know. So every company needs a board. The reason why most companies die in Nigeria, the reason why most businesses in Nigeria is not sustainable is because they don't have boards. You know, I go to lawyers and I ask them questions, what is law? Why did you go to read law? What is your trajectory? How did you grow to become who you are today? You know, how did you become a senior advocate? All those, you know, human angle dimension to law. I was telling my wife that if I had known this is how law is, you know, I would not even have done journalism. I would have just gone and read. I've gone to read law, you know, because even law is more like journalism, you know. It's about investigative, you know, it has an investigative dimension. It has a research dimension. It has a factual dimension. A biographer, you don't need to see the person before you write his own biography. You know, you can write a biography of a dead man. You can resurrect a dead man, you know.
Just with a biography.
With his biography. You know, how do you do it? By asking people who knew him while he was alive to share their stories. You know, because I know DIMGBA, you know, if I had been the one that died, God forbid, and he was alive, everything I'm doing, he would have done it, or he would have even done it better, you know. So I've given myself and my God that there's no book that I will write in as long as I'm alive that his name will not be there. His name must be there. You know, if his name is not there, it means maybe it's my own personal autobiography, you know, that contains my own iniquity.
Well, it's another very wonderful, lovely moment today in the city of Lagos. And it's a very precious time. It's a very historic moment because the person we are meeting today is a living legend, is somebody that has been able to change the world in his own way. In Nigeria, we call him the godfather of tabloid journalism, and his name spread across the world, not just in Nigeria, because a teacher is a father of the world. He has taught a lot of young people, and he has inspired millions of people around the world from his writing, from his thinking, from his orientation, and from his professional repertoire. I'm privileged to be with him. It was an impromptu interview. We've been looking for him for the past 4 months, 5 months now, but he's been so busy. He's somebody that is either he's writing or he's traveling or he's doing one or two things. Recently, he became a grandfather, and that is another addition to the dynasty of this great man. I'm very deeply honored to be in front of the legend himself. I call him Professor MIKE AWOYINFA, the professor of tabloid journalism in Nigeria. Daddy, we are so very honored to be in front of you today, and I want to thank you for this privilege. We know we bust into your schedule. You are so busy, and we have to beg Madam today to make it happen for us. We know it's not easy, and we want to thank you. Sir, with total honor, sir, how did you feel at this time in the trajectory of our country, in our Nigeria? How do you feel as a father, as a leader of organization, as a thinker, and as a philosopher king? How do you feel, sir?
Well, let me start by thanking you for honoring me with such a visit. I really, really feel honored. I'm so far impressed by what you are doing as a journalist, as an entrepreneur, and just as you see me as an inspiration, you're also an inspiration in your own right. And you've taken journalism to, your own creative dimension, and, you've been able to think out of the box, to reinvent yourself as a journalist with cameras and everything, So I'm very, very happy for what you are doing and the impact you are making in society. What you are doing reminds me of another of my mentees, Chief Dele Momodu, who is also doing something, noticeable in the genre of new journalism. People, taking advantage of the social media, owning it and using it as a forum to reach millions of people. And I think I deserve to clap for you.
Daddy, God bless you, sir. I'm very humbled. I'm humbled, sir.
We are following your footsteps. When we grow, we want to be like you too.
Daddy, you are the one that blessed us to become this. You are the one because I remember many years ago, I used to come here to this house when your twin brother was alive, Uncle DIMGBA IGWE. Yes, and it's a pity that today we have to talk to him in the past tense. He's a great man. He's an inspiration. And beyond that, Chief Dele Momodu is also a role model. He keeps talking about you. When we met him many years ago, he became an inspiration to me. So I am not saying that I inspired myself. I think it started from a MIKE AWOYINFA school down to a Dele Momodu school, and is now to Gbengadana service. So we have to give all kudos to God Almighty and back to your own school, sir. So and this last Saturday, Chief Momodu was still writing about MIKE AWOYINFA, how he taught him on exposé, on how to get scoops, on how to get creative story, that he didn't know anything about it until when he came to Lagos in 1988, and he worked under you after working under Mr. Louis Obi, that you were the one that opened him to the world of journalism. Creative, inspiring, story, real searching tabloid journalism. So how do you feel?
Yes, I read what Dele Momodu wrote last Saturday. Immediately I saw the story. I was jogging along when, I saw the story online, and immediately I saw it. Wow. I called Dele Momodu. I said, wow, this is journalism at its best. Teach them journalism. I didn't even know he mentioned my name in the write-up, in the lead. So it was when I came home and my son, Babajide, Awoyinfa was telling me, did you even read what? I said, no, I'm about reading. He said, he mentioned you. He did it. So I had to read it, and I was so much happy. He really made my day, Dele Momodu, every occasion he has, he will mention my name, as his mentor. And that is the joy of a father. That is the joy of journalism. There's no money in this business. There's no money, but we thank God for little mercies. We thank God for what journalism has been able to, do for us. I mean, it has given us the foundation, to be able to do a whole lot of things. A whole lot of, a journalist is more like an actor.
Yes, sir.
You are trained to be able to have the competence to be able to play all kinds of roles. That is what journalism does to you. Journalism, opens doors for you. I mean, the salary is not okay, but the kind of training we get, it equips us to do other things. Like
yes,
I'm now a biographer.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's a bigger one.
It's
more tasking.
I'm into writing books. My last book is called 50 Nigeria's Boardroom Leaders.
That book has been causing a lot of noise in the media. Yeah, social media is causing a lot of noise. People they want to get it, they want to have it, and with a lot of people are accusing you that you only streamline it to the premium people, the Subumi Baloguns, the Mike Adenugas, the Aliko Dangote, the Jimovias. That how can ordinary people get that book? Because that book, I myself, I'm envious of it. I want to have an insight.
A copy is 40,000. I'll give you one before you go.
Daddy, God bless you, sir. Daddy, God bless
you. Silver and gold have I not, but I'll have a book to give you.
God bless you, Daddy. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. I'm reading your book.
And also learn from it, and it's a book I wrote out of, after my friend DIMGBA IGWE died. We used to write books together.
Yes.
We wrote a book called 50 Nigeria's Corporate Strategists.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a copy, sir.
Yes, where we went about interviewing CEOs, business leaders, to share their stories, about doing business in Nigeria. What is it like doing business in Nigeria? A book that sold very well. It's the book we use in building this house.
That's inspiring.
It was 10,000 naira in those days per copy, and we sold. After that, we wrote another book called Nigeria's Marketing Memoirs. Using the same templates. We went about interviewing marketing directors and marketing gurus. To also share their stories. This is a country where people have a whole lot of experiential knowledge, which is wallowing, which is getting wasted. Nobody is going out there to tap those knowledge, to tap those ideas, and the people who should write books, they don't write.
Yeah.
The likes of Christopher Kolade, he won't write. Chief Oshukaya of Nestle, he won't write. Yeah. Felix Ohiwere, he won't write. So that was the vacuum, the niche we saw. And me and DIMGBA IGWE, we went about, and I'm happy the book did very well. So after the death of my friend, I was so much grieved that I said, what will I do that DIMGBA would like? There's hardly anything I do that I don't mention his name. If I didn't mention DIMGBA's name today, my wife would be very surprised. Say, you didn't mention your friend's name. So I was just asking myself, what book will I write that DIMGBA will be happy wherever he is? So and it occurred to me that we are also board members, me and DIMGBA. He was the vice chairman of the
Sun
newspaper board.
Sun group then.
Yes. I was just a director in the board, and I used to see DIMGBA in the boardroom. Outside the pulpit where he preaches, the boardroom is the place where DIMGBA finds so much happiness. You know, me, I'm not a talking type. You know, he's the one that is more expressive. He's on, so, so to cut a long story short, and I said, what will I do? What is it that I will write that will make DIMGBA happy? So God just gave me this idea of go and write a book about the boardroom. You know, what is the board? You know, a whole lot of people just hear boardroom, board member. You know, Obey sang board member, yes. Board member. People, a lot of people don't know what is the board. Yeah. And the board is the key.
Can you call it the engine room?
The engine room of business success. You know, it's a school of experienced people that advises businesses, you know, on which direction to go, what to do, what not to do, you know. So every company needs a board. The reason why most companies die in Nigeria, the reason why most businesses in Nigeria is not sustainable is because they don't have boards. You know, so I felt I should write a book, you know, to demystify the whole idea of the board. You know, so I went about, you know, with the support of Jibril Musa, yes, one of my new mentees, you know, following me, and we went around Nigeria, just like me and DIMGBA did.
Yes. In those days.
In those days, you know, we interviewed Christopher Kolade, we interviewed Felix Ohiwere, we interviewed Oshunkaye, we interviewed Michael Omala. All the big gurus, the big names in boardroom, you know, in Nigeria, you know. I put on my journalism cap to ask questions. That is the beauty of journalism. Ask and it shall be given. Knock and it shall be open. You know, that is journalism for you. Seek and you shall find. That is how Jesus defined journalism.
That was the definition of journalism.
Yeah, so I went there and asked each of them, what is the board? Why do we need a board? You know, what will you suffer if you don't have a board? What are the qualities of a boardroom, you know, strategist? You know, how do you appoint board members? You know, what is the role of the director in the board? You know, what is the role of the chairman of the board? You know, those are questions, you know, that I went around asking, you know, about 50 boardroom leaders, and I came with this book. Yeah, that is the book.
This is a powerful book, sir. This is the most powerful book in Nigeria now.
This is the book, 50 Nigeria's boardroom leaders. You know, it's on Amazon now. It's sold for $100, and in Nigeria it's 40,000 naira. A
lot of people will want me to ask you, because a lot of people also want to read, want to ask that how can they get the book, a physical copy? There are a lot of people abroad that are watching now in London, in America, in Canada, who have businesses in Nigeria that are not too strong. They want to be established in their businesses, and they want the ideas of these gurus you have interviewed, people like Ohiwere, people like Oshunkeye, and boardroom people like Ayeni, all of them, people like Subim Balogun. I mean, how can they get the book? Is there a phone number or a contact that they can reach out to?
Well, my phone number...
Maybe you can put it on the screen.
Yes, maybe you put it on the screen. And my email, MikeAwoyinfa@gmail.com.
Okay, but can they get it by courier? Some people want to buy it, pay into their account. And
if they reach me, okay, sir, you know, I'll know how we can always arrange how to, you know, get them back to them, send it by courier to them. That's it now.
Because I've read some of your books that have inspired me personally, and a lot of things that I do is also part of some of the books you wrote. You and General Samoma, the former Minister of Science and Technology, is also a bookworm. And I think there's a book you wrote on 50 global editors, and that was a fantastic, one of the best.
I'll give you one when I go.
God bless you, sir. Yes. And that was a fantastic one that also traveled around the world, and a lot of journalists drew inspiration from it. So, sir, is there any place people can get all these books, a bookshop, and like Glendora?
Strategically, we don't sell our books in the bookshop. Okay. You know Nigerians. Nigerian book. If you leave those books in bookshop, even when they sell, they will not give you your money, and pirates will take over. So we sell by direct marketing. You know, that's our own strategy. You know, my message to all journalists is, you know, I want more journalists.
Yeah, more journalists
to come into this field of books writing.
The field is too challenging and tasking, and not just intellectually taxing, but psychologically tasking and physically tasking. Yeah. So what's your strategy? What's your secrets? Staying on it. I mean, it's not just easy traveling, flying plane ticket from one city to the other to talk to intellectuals and coming to put it down, and you make it into a book. It's not a tea party, sir.
Well, first of all, you should have the vision and the will, the determination, you know, to write books. You know, I mean, it's just like, it's not different from journalism. You know, writing a book is just like writing a cover story. It's just a form of advanced kind of journalism. You know, just be ready to work.
Ready to work.
Be ready to work. It's not a terrain for lazy people. You know, once you put your mind on it, you know, you'll be able to do it, you know. And the field is so broad that there's nothing that you cannot do. But right now, there's a book I'm writing that is of interest. You know, it's called Courtroom and Law Firm Strategies. Yes.
I saw something on it with the late Akinjide that died on April 24. You want to interview?
Exactly. God bless you. Yes. God bless you.
And I was wondering that why are you going to court again? Because that is a very cumbersome area. It's full of books and full of intellectual. What can I call it? You have to be an introvert.
Yeah. Well, when I was selling this Nigeria's Boardroom book, you know, I discovered that the people that were buying it most were lawyers. Lawyers were the ones buying it. You know, my wife is my sales marketing director. Yes, she's the one that you know, goes around selling it to them, and so it just struck me that if lawyers can be buying books, now why don't I write a book on law? So that's how this new book started: Courtroom and Law Firm Strategies.
Courtroom and law firm
strategies. You know, senior advocates share their stories. You know, I go to lawyers and I ask them questions. What is law? Why did you go to read law? What is your trajectory? How did you grow to become who you are today? You know, how did you become a senior advocate? All those, you know, human angle dimension to law. It's not, I'm not writing a book.
Mental and concrete.
That is, that I'm writing it for lawyers, so.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm writing it for everybody, so that, you know, everybody can read it and be able to understand law. You know, as you are watching me here now, I'm a lawyer in toto. I'm a lawyer.
So you can quote law and can tie people down with law.
You know, like I was telling my wife.
We have to call you Barrister Dr. MIKE AWOYINFA.
Well,
so you're telling mommy.
I was telling my wife that if I had known this is how law is, you know, I would not even have done journalism. I would have just gone and read. I've gone to read law, you know, because even law is more like journalism. You know, it's about investigative. You know, it has an investigative dimension. It has a research dimension. It has a factual dimension. You go there, it has a, you know, there's something they call, what is it? You know, I've forgotten. Where you call somebody to begin to ask them questions and all that.
Interrogation.
Yes, yeah. I've forgotten, but
yes, law term.
Yes, where you sit down and you know, you ask somebody leading questions. You ask all kinds of questions on your feet. You know, I mean, there's a point, a link between journalism and law. You know, so you know, my being a journalist is really helping me in this. And
a lot of people feel that lawyers are very introverted person. For instance, there was a time I went to Sierra Leone, and the person who hosted us, Barrister Mrs. Sally Katuma, is a lawyer, and she was telling us she's taking us to one beach. It's a blue beach, something blue beach in Sierra Leone. And anytime she gives us food, she just say, "Enjoy. I'm going to the study. I have a case." Until we left Sierra Leone, she couldn't take us on that beach ride. So a lot of people that lawyers are introverted people. So how do you draw a line between you and extroverts? And now being a lawyer who are always bookwormed in the room, always reading one book to the other in order to defend their case. Is there going to be a change in the journalist Awoyinfa?
I've already imbibed the work ethic of a lawyer. You know, once I start work in the morning, ask my wife, I hardly go out. I'll be indoors and walk, you know. So, you know, I'm really learning a lot. You know, meeting the likes of Wole Olanipekun. You know, I was to even interview Akinjide.
Yes, I was coming to that really because I was shocked. You are planning. He told you he's going to give you, I think, some 13 tips on the law of the boardroom law, something like that. And suddenly you heard that he passed away on the 24th of April in the course of the lockdown. How did you feel? I mean, somebody you've been speaking with on phone, and you are preparing your repertoire and everything, and you just learned that he has passed on.
Well, I felt very. I felt a great sense of loss, you know, because this is a man I was hoping that you know, I was going to really
Tutored expert.
Yes, I was going to get a lot from him, you know, because of his. You remember all things like the 12 tutor thing about Shagari and Awolowo, yes, and all those that, you know, he's one lawyer who has really, you know, written his name in the annals of Nigerian jurisprudence, and I thought, you know, I could really interview him, you know, and how I wish people like Rotimi Williams, you know, were still alive, you know, and people like G.O.K. Ajayi, and above all, my friend Ganifa Oyimi.
That was the most important of all of them.
Yes, luckily I interviewed Ganifa Oyimi when we were writing our book, 50 Nigeria's Corporate Strategies.
Oh.
The aspects of that interview, you know, we are pulling it and including it in our courtroom and law firm strategies book. You know, I was interviewing Ghana as if I knew that in future I will be writing a book on law. You know, so when you come into law book writing, you discover that law is so broad. There's so much to do. You know, so much. You know, I mean, I'm even thinking of writing the biography of Rotimi Williams.
That's interesting. The giant. The
giant. You know.
That's Timi the Law.
Yeah, Timi the Law. He's one man. Every interview, his name, you know, comes up. He's a man who has planted, you know, his stamp everywhere in Nigerian jurisprudence. You know, he's the man that people, generations of lawyers, you know, should still, you know, read about. So I've taken it as a challenge, you know, to write his biography. You know, as I'm going about interviewing people, yeah, I'm gathering data, materials about, you know, Rotimi Williams, the encounters with him, and you know, with the hope that very, very soon his biography will come out, and it's something that will very much make me proud. You know, after his own, maybe I might write Gani's biography too, or G.O.K. Ajayi, you know.
But so let me ask you, sir, sorry to cut you. Among all of these people doing your research, who do you think is the greatest Nigerian lawyer that have ever lived among us in the jurisprudence, the history of Nigerian jurisprudence? Who is the greatest among them?
Well, I think I'll be the wrong person.
Why, sir?
Because I'm just somebody who just dabbled into law. Yeah, so I haven't been.
You're not been properly initiated
into law. Yeah, I've not yet done any pupillage. I have not been to law school. I don't have any degree in law. I have not. I have not passed out of any law school. So to be able to be saying that Lagbaja is the number one lawyer of Nigeria, of all times, But still, based on the interviews I have done, people I have interviewed, it comes out without any dispute that Rotimi Williams is the Muhammad Ali of law practice in Nigeria. Forget his huge, even his size shows that he's the heavyweight.
Somebody said that was the only lawyer that maybe collected the 1 billion as law fee, and that was the only lawyer that used to use a helicopter to fly into a law court. How true is that? I mean, that he has done a lot of things that most lawyers have not done. They were so rich. I mean, that's different from being famous. I mean, Ganify me and some others could take that.
The things I've been hearing about Rotimi Williams is so inspiring. He's not just a good lawyer. He's not just a great lawyer. He's law personified. He's law personified. His story, if his story is not told, it's unfortunate that he didn't write a memoir. It's so unfortunate. But I've interviewed his son, who is also a senior advocate. I've interviewed people that are very, very close to him, people that have served, under him. People like Bunshofola, who was one of the head of his chamber. The beauty of biographies.
It leads to a lot of secrets.
A biographer, you don't need to see the person before you write his own biography. You can write a biography of a dead man. You can resurrect a dead man,
Just with a biography.
With his biography. How do you do it? By asking people who knew him while he was alive to share their stories. That is the thing. And it will be a source of pride for me to finish that Rotimi Williams biography. And I know my friend DIMGBA IGWE will be happy. You notice that his name is on this.
Yes, even without him being around.
Without him being around,
Physically, I mean.
Physically, because I know DIMGBA, if I had been the one that died, God forbid, and he was alive, everything I'm doing, he would have done it, or he would have even done it better. So I've given myself and my God that there's no book that I will write in as long as I'm alive that his name will not be there. His name must be there. If his name is not there, it means maybe it's my own personal autobiography, that contains my own iniquity. So I cannot put his
name. He called you a man of iniquity in his lifetime.
That's why he used to call me a man.
But why is he calling you a man of iniquity?
Well,
I used to wonder that you call you when we asked you a question. He was the man on the altar. Then when we say, "What about Mr. Awonifa?" He say, "Man of iniquity."
I'll be surprised if DIMGBA is not in heaven. If DIMGBA is not in heaven, then there's no heaven. Because I know he's somewhere in heaven now. Listening to our interview here, and he was such a man, a good man. A holy man, a man after God's heart. And God really wanted him. That's why God took him. Otherwise, I don't understand why a person will be jogging. Is it today that we have been jogging? So somebody will hit you, and that is the end. So we cannot question God. It has happened. And, I mean, he was my spiritual mentor. Understand? He wanted me, to walk on the path of holiness, the path of righteousness, which I'm also aiming at. It's You know, he sees me as the worldly man. You know, that's why he calls me, you know, iniquity man, going everywhere. You know, but as a journalist, how will I not be an iniquity man? You know, you have to go and look for news. News itself is iniquity.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, you have to go there and ask iniquity questions, satanic questions. You know, which you also, I know you have learned.
Yes, of course. Yes, I learned from you directly.
Yes, that's journalism. You have to ask iniquity questions.